Welcome once again to Cinemaholics. I'm John Negroni, and with me is Will Ashton. Will Ashton.
Oh boy, am I being replaced by some sort of AI robot, or what was going on there?
Not sure what that was. It was like a cross between a robot and like a country music star. I don't know.
Okay, you didn't see Arco yet, right?
Arco?
Yeah.
Or Argo?
No, Arco, the new animated film.
No.
Neon.
I didn't see that one. Yeah. I have a screener, and I have a little bit more time that I could see it.
Well, there's like a big AI robot in that, without giving too much away, and that's what you reminded me of. His name's Mickey, and maybe if that comes up in the roulette, I can talk about it more. But I can't say anything else at this time because John's gonna speak
today on the show. We're gonna talk about Marty Supreme. This is the new Josh Safdie film. We're gonna review that one and do our usual kind of like Rotten Tomatoes game and some stuff from our friends. Just one movie this week to keep it lean, but we do have a big film roulette section. And Will, I'm introducing something new to Film Roulette. And this is a surprise for you because I didn't tell you about this ahead of time.
Oh boy, what are you adding? Shows?
There's just a little bit of a game element to it. I'm still working it out. So here's how it works. Here's how it works. Because you know how like in a roulette, you can have like red and black, right?
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to predict when I do the film roulette, because you don't know the movies yet, I'm going to predict if you were in the red, if you were in the black. Red means no, you didn't really like the movie. Like it's like you either like the movie or you didn't like the movie. Black is the movie's in the black. Now, how you define it is how you define it, right? So I'll tell you the movie and you say red or black. And that means either the movie is like it doesn't necessarily have to be like good, but it has to like be like a pass or, fail, basically.
So you're saying that rather than me articulating my thoughts, I'm just
Well, you'll get to do that too, but I want to be able to predict.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So like I'll start it off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll try it out, see if it works. And I'll tell you if I was wrong or right in my prediction.
Okay.
So here's the first one we'll do. Okay. Avatar, Fire and Ash.
10.
A what?
10. Ashton. That's what we've been calling it.
Oh. It's like it's red or black, and all I hear is t. Like you're trying to talk like a Navi.
Oh, okay. So am I also supposed to guess if you are in the red and the black for the film?
No. We can keep it simpler. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say what it is, and you're gonna figure out if it's right or wrong. Is that the idea?
No. You're just gonna say either red or black, and I'll tell you if I called it.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say. I would say that's in the black. Yeah.
Really? I think a lot of people were in the red on this movie.
Well, they are jerks. I don't know.
You had a good time. You also love the whale?
Yeah. What's his name?
Pycon.
Pycon?
My best friend?
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
When he goes backwards and he was like, "You'll never hear my song again," I almost cried.
Yeah, no, he's cool. I feel like his whole thing in this movie is they are like putting him on trial and being like, "You're a bad whale that did a bad thing."
Yeah, I don't get why people don't like this movie. But no, like overall though, you like this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the weakest of the three. I think you were even kind of talking about it when you saw it in one of our previous episodes, where you were like, it has kind of like that in-worlds end kind of thing, or I don't know, just like a classic like Return of the Jedi, where it's just like it's a lot going on at once, and you kind of have to keep up with it. And I feel like that kind of took away from what I think is ultimately the most endearing about the second movie, and probably my favorite of the three, is that there's like a lot of moments of grandeur in that second film. Like we're just underwater and we're with the like, not only the whales, but we're just kind of watching the characters swim. We're getting to live in these environments, voyeuristically. And I think that's kind of the main appeal of Avatar. I mean, the story has always sort of been a means to an end. And I feel like there's just so much story in this one that kind of takes away from those little moments. And maybe that's why people are, as you say, in the red for this film. But I still think it's fun. I mean, Cameron, big money James Cameron still knows what to do. He's, I kind of just appreciate that the more we get into the thick of it, that this really does just kind of feel like your uncle's like weird sci-fi project that he like works on in the basement. And like 90% of those just go nowhere. They're just, papers that end up in a drawer. But James Cameron is a $1 billion man who has turned all these things into like theme park amusement attractions. And I think that's very endearing and sweet. And that will always sort of win me over compared to a, sort of shallow corporate endeavor with like a boardroom of people trying to decide what to do. This is all one weird hippie rich guy's dream of the world.
The world of Pandora. Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought, because I've had so many conversations with people who didn't like it nearly as much as I did, and I think it's like the same amount of good as the second one, and I like the second one more than the first. I just feel like they're close to being the same movie, but yeah, they're doing like just enough things that are different that I was okay with it, and I think like the big flaw for me is like way too much Spider. I don't think he's that great of a character, but
I was worried about it, and then at a certain point, I just stopped worrying and loved the Spider. I'm just kind of like, you know what? If James loves this guy, I'll vouch for him. He seems
I think it's his dream. He just wants to. He wishes this had been his life when he was, a teenager.
I actually just thought the whole reason they have so much Spider is that he's just not CG, and it's just like much cheaper to have him around in a scene than any of the Na'vi. So I just kind of figured like, okay, have as much Spider as you want. It helps the budget. Not that, James Cameron's worrying about that as so much, I don't think, but that was my theory at least.
Hey, I mean, you could you could be right there. I'm going to look at the box office for the first time. I haven't really been paying attention to it.
It's been doing well, at least internationally.
Yeah, over $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's all it really needed, right?
Probably.
I mean, most of it's international. I think there were a lot of people who were like, look, I didn't expect it would get to $2 billion like the last two, just because of diminishing returns, like the laws of,
Well,
it's been a lot more recent since the last one.
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's just like, it's been not that long really in the scheme of things since the second one. I think that was kind of the reason why the second movie was able to kind of get to 2 billion, is that like it had been like a decade and a half since.
We were also coming out of, pandemic fatigue, and this was like, it was the right moment when it came out, because it was when more and more people were starting to hit theaters. And I think people keep forgetting about Avatar. They keep underestimating it. This thing is huge in China. We've said it so many times. Sure, yeah. And
I mean, people internationally, yeah.
Yeah, internationally in general. And people think just because like in America, it's something that people kind of just forget that it's a thing. There's still an international box office. The returns might not be like, there may not be as much of a share of the proceeds, but it's definitely enough to make a difference. That's for sure. Okay, but I did get this wrong. I thought you were going to do red. So I have one X so far. Let's see if I get this next one right. We'll do this a little faster, but okay. The Testament of An Lee.
Oh, I was in the black on that. Yeah, I had fun.
Dang it, I said red.
Why did you think I was red? I'm The Brutalist was like my favorite movie of last year. I'm thinking for these two.
You'll of course explain. I was thinking that maybe you'd like me. The film would lose you. I think it's like a great beginning. But I think this movie just kind of falls apart in the second half to the point that I got really annoyed with it. And so this is the opposite of Avatar, where I thought Avatar, you'd be the opposite of me. And in this case, I thought you would be in the same zone as me. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I do agree. And I think we talked about this before, that I think these two, this married couple, Brady and Mona, I think they're much better at beginnings than endings, it seems. Like, I think they can make a great first half and then maybe not have as much juice in the second. But I was with it all through. I think these two are really impressive about getting the most bang for their buck. And I don't know, I just found it pretty immersive and engaging. The only thing I was bummed out about is just that I had to watch it on a digital screener with my email on, all over the screen while Amanda Seyfried's crying. I'm excited to actually see this in a theater and get the full immersion. I feel like I'll like it even more there, but I enjoyed it a fair bit. I thought it was like in my top 30 or 40 for the
I'm glad you did. Yeah, that's a pleasant surprise. I was actually kind of sad because I knew you were looking forward to it. So that's one I'm glad I'm incorrect. Okay, here's one. Stranger Things 5.
Didn't watch it. Don't care.
That's red, right?
Red. Yeah, red. I don't care.
All right, I got that one right. Yeah. Okay. I didn't watch it either. I watched I think 20, 30 minutes of the first episode, and I was like, this is so tired. I just, oof.
I heard there's a lot of Will in it, and that's a guy no one likes, which kind of makes me a little sad as far as name association goes, but as far as the guy goes, I could care less.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's like a big Zionist, so he was like
Yeah.
very much like getting roasted. But more I've heard that it kind of nails the landing. Like the ending is fine compared to the rest of
really?
the season. But I don't know.
I heard the ending was bad.
I
Embarrassing.
thought like because I don't know when I'll ever get to it, but I apparently people were not like I get maybe it's like selection bias because it's the people who made it all the way to the end in the first place.
Right.
Where like most people I think just kind of tuned it out in the first part of the drop. But anyway,
Sure.
All right, Zootopia 2.
I was on the red in this one.
I got this one wrong. Dang it! I thought you would be in the black because I thought you'd like the cute little animals.
I thought the first one was like pretty good. I was never like crazy about Zootopia 1, but I enjoyed it well enough. I just felt like the second one didn't really do much of anything. It just kind of just felt, I don't know, it felt very obligatory to me.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people are liking it, and there's stuff in it I do like. I thought like Fortune Feister was good. I thought Kiyu Kwan was good. I think there's like fun moments.
Okay.
I just didn't really think it came together in anything more than just kind of a ho-hum Disney sequel. It felt very like fine. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't really engaged with it.
Well, I still haven't seen it. I plan to check it out at some point, but do you know what the box office is?
Oh, it made $1 billion. People are loving these animals.
Oh, it's way more than $1 billion. It's $1.59 billion.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
way more than I thought.
This and Avatar are kind of picking up the slack for Marvel this year for Disney, I guess.
Yeah.
Marvel didn't crack $1 billion with any of their stuff recently, and these two are just coming out of the gate hot and loaded.
So far, I'm 1 for 4. I'm not. This is a fun game because I'm losing it. Okay, this next one is about as different from Zootopia 2 as you can probably get. The Ugly Stepsister.
Oh, I was in the black for that.
Okay, yeah,
I had to
got
remember
this
what
one
the
right.
colors were. Yeah, I like that movie. You saw it at Sundance, right?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Somebody puked in the theater. It was
really?
awesome.
Was it during the like Clockwork Orange-esque scene?
I don't want to get into detail because
okay.
people haven't watched it, but yeah.
Okay, I was trying to be vague there for that reason because that doesn't really describe the scene really. But yeah, that I'm not a squirm kind of guy in movies, not in that sense. But that scene got me good. I was like, this is But yeah, I thought it was fun, funny, darkly funny.
Great for the whole family, just like Zootopia 2.
Very similar vibes all around. Yeah, I mean, some of it's kind of hard to watch in just like you kind of feel bad for her sort of way, but then as it goes along, you kind of get on its wavelength, and yeah, it's just I thought that was a warm surprise in these bitter cold months.
I especially like how the movie just doesn't let the Cinderella character be like perfect or anything. Like she seems kind of like a human being in it, and I thought that she wasn't like secretly evil. Like they weren't trying to do a Maleficent sort of thing. They were just kind of like, I don't know. She's just like a person. Like she's kind of just normal, and she happens to be like more attractive, but like there's not that much to her. I don't know. I thought there's something interesting about that.
Yeah, no, I was under the assumption that they were going to do that sort of thing where it's like she's actually the evil one and like the story, and they don't really do that. No, but she's like more nuanced than that. Like she has her faults, but she's also like a fairly good person. Yeah, it's like it's a nice change to that sort of tired trope.
Great ending too.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Speaking of ladies on the rise, Ella McCay.
So I think you have to kind of say this is in the red.
Oh, I got this one. I was about to say.
But it's like a peach kind of red. Like it's it's not like a film I like had fun not enjoying. And I think it's like an agreeable film for how weird and sort of nonsensical it is.
Really want to see it. I don't know why.
It's like I think people like some folks really got their like pitchforks out for it. And I just don't think it's that sort of film to get like mad about. Because it's like an octogenarian trying to like make a rom-com in the studio system. Like, especially in this Disney system, like movies like this aren't going to exist in 15 years. Like you kind of just have to cherish them a little bit, even if they're not good. Like it's just kind of nice that a movie like this exists, even if it's sole reason for being allegedly is just so Disney could make Simpsons movie 2. It's like, okay, well, he got one in the system. That's kind of nice. And I think what's her face from Sex Education?
Yeah, Emma Mackey.
She's a charmer. She's charming in this movie. She's good.
She didn't get much to do in the Barbie movie, and I felt like she wasn't like the best fit for that movie, to be honest with you. So, you know, always happy to see her show up.
People keep talking about like she's a dead ringer for Margot Robbie.
No.
And I'm like, I don't really see that. I mean, they're both blonde and they're both ladies, but other than that, but she's not even blonde in Ella McCay. I think she might only be blonde in, I don't even know if she's blonde in anything now that I think
in Sex Education.
Oh, she is? Okay.
Yeah, not the entire time, but
spoiler alert.
Okay. Sex Education, great show. I know we talked about it here before. Okay, next one. The Plague.
I haven't seen it, so
I thought you saw The Plague.
No, I've been wanting to. It keeps going back on my watch list. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of stuff for the Pittsburgh Film Critic Association and for other reasons, for other movies I want to watch. So I do want to watch it. It's
I'll cut it out of the Okay, I'll get rid of it.
Hopefully by next week I'll watch it.
All right, here's one. Kpop Demon Hunters. Sounds like you want to say Red, but you're like, do I want to deal with the backlash?
It's not even that. It's just like, I'm just like down the middle on it. Like, I'm like a very gray black, I guess. Like, I think it's fine. It's like not, I don't know. I can see why it's popular.
It's so fun.
It's
fun.
It's
animation,
coming out at the exact right moment. And like, even though it's insane that Sony sold it to Netflix, like I don't think it would have been nearly what it is now if it was just a Sony film. Like it went to theaters in a normal route.
Probably
like, I think,
not. Yeah.
I think
it's always
to
hard to say, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it would have done well. I don't think it would have been like the phenomenon like that going on TikTok and stuff if it wasn't a Netflix film.
So like everyone I know knows this movie, and that is so rare. Mm-hmm. Like everyone I know watched it. Everybody. If they maybe like a couple people didn't watch it, but they all know the music. Every single time we do karaoke, at least 3 songs from that movie end up being in it. I mean, it's just, it broke through the noise. It's a water cooler kind of thing.
Meanwhile, I go to karaoke and I'm doing Clothed by the Sun from Testament of Anne
You're
Lee.
that guy. Well, I'm going to count this as a point because you said gray, and that's close enough.
There you go. Yeah.
Arco.
That's black. There's some stuff in it that I'm not crazy about as far as the production of it. There's an AI, there's a robot character in the film, and the voice is actually kind of interesting because it's so for the dubbing of it, at least in America, because it's a French film, and I don't know who did the voices in France, but in the American dub, it's Mark Ruffalo and Natalie Portman. It's like their voices combined together to like create this robot, but because they are both the parents of this child that's in the film, but they also use like AI to modulate the voice. And I just find that to be kind of annoying just because I don't love movies using AI nowadays for a multitude of reasons.
It's happening everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Everywhere.
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Same. And it's like, based on like my current understanding is like, it is rare at this point that a movie doesn't have some kind of like LLM thing, even down to like people using it for their emails, like stuff like that. And it's just, it's depressing.
It is, yeah. And I mean, look, I'm sure there's a lot of movies I love or liked a lot this past year that may have used AI. I'm not trying to say, it's not a be-all end-all sort of thing.
We don't have the time or energy for a witch hunt. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
I know it's very prominent use of AI in this film.
Yeah.
At least for the dub. I don't know. I can't speak to the French version. And I found that disparaging. But other than that, I thought it was a nice, charming little sci-fi French movie. I think you, John Negroni, would like it.
Well, it's on my list, along with plenty of other things. But yeah. Okay. The Mastermind.
Oh, I love that movie. Big old black.
I put red.
Why'd you put red?
I don't know. I thought I was going for like a wild card. Like maybe he's going to surprise me.
No, that's one of my favorites this year.
Oh my gosh. Of course I got it wrong.
I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking with these.
Hey, whoa, I got a bunch correct in a row. Okay. Everyone calm down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a black. Why is it a black for you?
Oh, it's a good old time. It's a great character study. It's fun. It's Kelly Reichardt doing her thing, and it's a little bit more accessible, I guess, than some of her other works. That's kind of being general. Like I saw some folks, because I guess they did this film. I didn't get to go to the screening, but there was like, for the AMC and the Regal theaters, they do like a surprise film where they don't announce it, but it's like a discounted ticket. And I guess they did the Mastermind for one of those screenings, and general audiences went, and they're like, "It's so slow, I don't get it." And I saw someone on Twitter make a funny point where it's just like, it's funny to see people, claiming that this was slow, because for Kelly Reichardt, this is like Heat. Like this is like a fast moving roller coaster for her, and it is comparatively. I mean, compared to like her other works like River of Grass and all that, it's a much more accessible film, and I think it has all of her trademarks. And Josh O'Connor, it's his like year. He's great.
This is his year. He's so good in rebuilding, and
that's
Wake Up Dead Man was such a great showcase for him. Yeah,
that's the only one of his I didn't see for this past year, Rebuilding, but I heard it was good.
Yeah, I mean it's my kind of movie for sure. But yeah, so I still haven't seen The Mastermind. I do want to check it out. I don't have a screener for it, so I'd have to watch it on Mubi. But hoping to eventually, because I like Kelly Reichardt.
Yeah, you can get a week trial for free on Mubi, so you could always watch it that way.
Yeah, that's true. I think I might have done that for Decision to Leave. Wait, no, I did a screener for that. Never mind. Okay. Speaking of smaller films, Sorry Baby.
Yeah, that was in the black.
Okay, I called that. I didn't think you'd be like over the moon for Sorry Baby. Now, Sorry Baby was Allison Johnson's favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, I thought it was good. It's good movie.
All right, next up. Okay. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it wasn't my favorite from Sundance, but I liked it a good bit.
Yeah, right. I guess I was maybe expecting a little bit more, considering how much people have been like putting it on the top of their list and like, throughout the year giving it 5 stars and stuff. I think what it does well is I think really in the middle segment of it. Like, I guess it's kind of chapters, and the stuff in the middle is really where I think the movie excels. Just some of those moments. And then this whole scene with John Carroll Lynch is fantastic. And yeah, there's a lot to like in there for sure.
All right. Companion.
I'm in the red on that one.
I called it. Haha.
Yeah, it was okay. I don't know. I feel like it didn't really do much that made it special, but I thought Sophie Thatcher was good.
The what was good?
The lead performance from Sophie Thatcher. Is that her name? Thatcher?
I'm not sure. I didn't see the movie. That's why I'm asking you. That's why I put it on Film Roulette. I want to know.
She was in a bunch of things I haven't seen, like Heretic and something else. Yeah, she's like kind of like a new, like, scream queen-ish kind of girl. And I thought, this was a good first impression for that, but I thought the movie itself was kind of ho-hum.
Oh, she was in Yellow Jackets. Okay. All right, so got just a few more here. The Smashing Machine. That's another one I didn't see.
The Benny Safdie film.
Yeah.
I would say kind of similar to Kpop Demon Hunter. I guess like a.
Dang it! I put red.
Very light.
At least I was close.
It's a weird movie if you watch the documentary. The documentary is a firm black. It's a really good movie, really compelling character piece, fly in the wall, cinema verite sort of thing. This movie is like trying to do it's trying to dramatically like docudrama it, which is very confusing because we already have the documentary and it's like trying to recreate that footage. So it feels like the rehearsal, like you're watching like Nathan Fielder direct it, not Benny Safdie. But I mean, I thought Dwayne Johnson was like pretty good. Like I don't think he deserves an Oscar, but I thought he did a good job. I'd rather see him do that than like Jungle Cruise.
Well, sorry, Jungle Cruise too. All right, well, yeah, because I figured, how interesting would it be if you were a red on Smashing Machine and then we got to Marty Supreme and you were a black, but I guess we'll get to that momentarily. All right. Hedda.
Oh, the Tessa Thompson film?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a black.
Put it red. Dang it.
I thought it was pretty good.
I still haven't seen it, so that was a bit of a stretch. I wasn't sure, like what I think of it, so.
I did love it. I thought the ending kind of fell apart. It's interesting what it like makes crucial changes to the text in terms of its gender and race.
Mm-hmm.
different characters, but I feel like it kind of falls apart by the end. I'm assuming maybe because it was maybe a little too beholden, or I don't know. It just didn't really. I don't know if it fully landed the ending, but I thought going up to it, it was fun.
Fair enough. I mean, I was hoping this one would do well because, I liked the Marvels more than everybody else. That was
I never
Nia
saw it.
DaCosta's previous movie, but I also didn't have the highest hopes. So that's good to hear, at least. That's not terrible. Okay. If I don't get this one right, Lilo and Stitch,
The remake or the original?
the remake, 2025.
Remake is in the red,
Yep, I knew it.
but like it's whatever. It's better than most of these Disney live action remakes. It's just not very good.
Hmm.
Did you like it though? I forget.
I didn't hate it. There were
Yeah.
things about it I thought were fine, and I think like if you're, yeah, like you said, it's a little bit more effort than some of the other ones. So I kind of gave it a pass. If you ask me today, I'd probably say red because I remember like liking it more when I saw it, and then it is one of those movies. Like the more I thought about it after, the more I was like, I think we'd be better off this movie didn't exist. To be honest,
Yeah, that's
this
kind of where
remake.
I'm at. There was like a trailer before Avatar: Fire and Ash for like Moana live action.
Yeah,
And it's like it looks nice, especially in IMAX, but like what point does this film serve? Like we already have it like looks like it's mostly animated and we already have an animated
it's
CG
just
version.
I think that the bias of their families where you can't get both parents to go unless it's live action. That's the compromise. Like if it's an animated movie, it's like, oh, it's just for the kids. And like we've been doing this since Snow White, right? So okay, last one.
Oh, one last thing I was gonna say about
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. But the guy who played
Dwayne The Rock
Plankley-
Johnson.
No, the guy who played Plankley in the Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, Billy Magnuson.
Billy Magnuson. He was really good in Lilo and Stitch, I thought. Like, I thought he really elevated some of his scenes. And I felt bad because I feel like he's always been good. He
Yeah,
just
yeah.
doesn't really get always get good films to
He's
work
like
with.
sneakily my favorite character in Ingrid Goes West.
Yeah, he's
And
great.
he's one of the
in
better
Ingrid
ones
Goes
in
West.
Game Night.
Yeah, he's good in that too. Like I think he's like a constant scene stealer, and I
Yeah.
want him to have like I don't know, like some like hotshot upcoming Sundance filmmaker. Just give him like a really good starring vehicle, and
Sure.
just, like I don't know. I feel like
Maybe he's working on it. We don't know.
maybe I don't know. I just feel like there's like a lot of like untapped potential with that guy.
All right, last movie, History of Sound.
Oh, I like that movie. We talked about it.
We didn't talk about it.
Oh, I
You
thought
and
we
me?
talked about it. I thought we talked about it during Wake Up Dead Man.
We didn't. It wasn't part of Film Roulette.
Well, okay, yeah, I was in the black on that one. I like that one more than most people, I guess.
All right, but I put it in the black as well. Well, it did fine. Like review wise, like I not everybody loved it, but I think it was fresh overall.
Yeah, I just
Probably
remember,
more mixed than they were expecting.
Yeah, by no means is it a flawless film, but I remember being taken by it and finding myself emotionally devastated by the ending. And I feel like a lot of the reviews I saw were like, looks pretty, didn't have any emotional connection to it. And I was like, well, that's weird. And then I see, Hamnet. And I'm like, looks pretty, have no emotional connection to it. People are like, I sobbed. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm in topsy-turvy land with those two films.
Interesting. Okay, well, that was Film Roulette. I got 6 out of 15 right. Or sorry, wait. Yeah, I got 6 wrong. So I got more than half correct. Okay.
I feel like you had to like push that because I feel like you had more spoken than what was on your list.
Wait, what?
I
More
think
spoken?
I don't think all these films were on your list initially. I think you just added some to
No.
fudge the numbers.
No, these were all done ahead of time. I promise you.
Oh, okay.
Not
Even
a single
Arco?
one was added after I hit the record button. I think the last one I added was right before you jumped into the studio. I promise.
Which was what?
It was Testament of Van Lee because I was like, oh
Oh.
wait, I forgot about that one, and I was like, where do I put it? I was like, I'm gonna put it second.
I don't know if I.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, believe what you want to believe.
Let's talk Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme. My favorite pizza. That should be a pizza. I would eat it. Yeah, let's talk about Marty Supreme. Yeah, this is a movie that I've been definitely curious. Like, how it's going to go over with people. Is it going to be one of those movies that people are going to argue about for a long time? Is it just going to be something that there's real consensus on? I'm leaning toward consensus. We'll get into it. This is the latest film from Josh Safdie. He co-wrote it with his longtime collaborator, Ronald Bronstein. Stars Timothée Chalamet in definitely one of his stranger performances, definitely one of his most full throttle kind of leading roles, maybe in his whole career. The film is A24, which is appropriate because this is, A24, known for movies that don't always play it safe, or if they do, they just kind of fade away very quickly. Or, if not playing it safe, kind of playing it down the line, normal, that kind of thing. The setup for the movie, very difficult to sum up what this movie is. It's deceptively kind of, it's an easy film to describe simplistically, or more simplistically than you mean to. So it takes place in 1952 to over the course of about a year. Marty Mauser is this kind of fast-talking kid, or young man, really. He's stuck selling shoes in his uncle's cramped Lower East Side shop. He's living a life that feels like it was chosen for him before he ever got a say. His escape, though, his obsession really is table tennis, and not necessarily as a hobby, not like a quirk of his personality, but he sees table tennis, ping pong, as his ticket to greatness. That's the thrust of the film. The problem he faces, though, is that in post-war America, table tennis is treated like a total joke. It's barely respected as a sport of all. So Marty's dream is to become the greatest table tennis player in the world, and yet everyone sees it, thinks that that's kind of absurd. His family, his neighborhood, the system itself that's kind of rigged against him. The movie is very clear about the pressure he faces, that this is a story about chasing a dream that society doesn't even want to or pretend to understand. What unfolds from there is it's a weird movie structurally. It spans the globe, but then it kind of hones in on this New York, Odyssey kind of thing that happens, but it's later in the film. It's very unique in how everything goes, but we're in different countries at one point, a lot of smoky back rooms, underground clubs, falling apart, apartments. At some point, we're out in the boonies with a guy with a shotgun. It's a wild film. It's a wild ensemble cast where Chalamet is just colliding with all of these larger-than-life characters. One of them being Gwyneth Paltrow, who plays this former Hollywood star who's become the wife of an industrialist. Kevin O'Leary is that person, is just this cartoonishly menacing capitalist benefactor who, throughout the entire movie, I was so on the fence if I was okay with this casting, because Kevin O'Leary in real life is he's a villain in real life, and he's a villain in this movie, and it's almost kind of fascinating how they do that. Tyler, the Creator, is in this. I believe it's his feature film debut. Abel Ferrara, who I believe Will Ashton literally texted that Abel Ferrara is in this. I think when you watch the trailer. Fran Drescher is in this. Odessa A'zion, as a breakout role from Odessa A'zion as Marty's girlfriend Rachel, who just really kind of reminds me when Margot Robbie had her big breakout in Wolf of Wall Street. At least that's what it reminds me of.
You know what is funny? I'm sorry to interrupt, but just
yeah.
Last year, the big breakout role was from Mikey Madison and Nora, who prior to that was most well known for playing one of the daughters in Better Things from Pamela Adlon.
Also Scream.
Well, sure. But if you want to get into the nitty gritty, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well. But this year, it's Odessa A'zion, who is the real daughter of Pamela Adlon, and perhaps even the inspiration for Mikey Madison's character in Better Things. So I just thought that was fun.
That's kind of fun. That's neat.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, the film stylistically, this is a classic kind of Safdie film, albeit without, Ben Safdie. He does films in this kind of controlled chaos mode. We've seen it in Good Time, Uncut Gems, and so on. It was shot on 35 millimeter. They edited the films themselves. It was scored by Daniel Lopatin, aka the Onetrix Point Never. This movie, it moves like it's just constantly about to explode. It's always on the verge of combustion. The camera is constantly drifting, lunging, overheating. The score itself is like a ping pong ball, just ricocheting off the walls. It's aggressive, it's ridiculous, it's funny, it's exhausting, it's weirdly romantic, it's weirdly about being a dad. There's so much happening here. But underneath all that noise, and I want to get your read on it, Will Ashton, I think that Marty Supreme is really a film about belief, specifically the cost of belief, what it takes to chase a dream that no one else shares. It's about how ego becomes your armor, how optimism can be both liberating and destructive, Marty is completely unlikable, but he's also a charmer. He's also a hustling, narcissistic romantic. He's a total mess. The movie never asks you to like him or to make an excuse for him, only to understand what it is that drives him. And I generally love this movie. It's one of my favorites of the year. I found it exhilarating. I was deeply uncomfortable the whole time in the best way. I found it weirdly moving. Loved the Tears for Fears needle drops. It feels like a film that is allergic to playing things safe, like I was saying before, but it's deeply in love with the idea of obsession. But Will, let's talk about your C-.
Hey, now, well, for one, we don't even do grades anymore, so that joke doesn't even make sense. No, but yeah, I mean, we've been seeing so many sibling filmmakers kind of doing their own thing recently. It's bummed me out that I feel like the only real siblings, I'm sure there's a big one I'm forgetting, but the only real sibling brothers, sisters, whomever that are sticking around are the Russos. They can split up for all I care.
But you're
everyone
the
else,
Coens,
the Coens,
probably the
the
most famous example. Yeah, Wachowskis.
Even the Duplosses are kind of doing their own thing now.
Didn't they always kind of move around? Like, I didn't feel like they were always together.
I don't know. I think Duplosses have been
okay.
I mean, they haven't made their own separate films until this year. At least Jay did.
Really? Oh,
yeah. Mark never did. I don't think Mark Duplosses ever.
Mark I guess I'm just wrong. Yeah. Well.
But in any case, well, in that respect, though, that's another mumblecore pair of siblings, and we've been kind of seeing a number of these mumblecore folks kind of rising to the mainstream, and I feel like one of the more surprising is just how much the Safdies have become kind of a household name throughout, like, Uncut Gems, and like even like people kind of copying their style to different respects. Like, it seems like The Bear, I have people kind of compare it to being the Safdies-esque. I haven't watched it, but I know
household name maybe is a bit of a stretch.
Well, maybe for certain households. In any case, the fact that they were able, or at least one of them was able to, get a $70 million project off the ground is kind of almost impossible to believe for like 10 years earlier. But, now we are, and we got Timothée Chalamet fighting to be the last, real young movie star. And I think that's kind of what drives the film for me, is that, like, the Safdies have always sort of been influenced by these sort of like guys who are on the outs, and they're not the best people, but they always have this sort of conviction and this belief in themselves that it doesn't die, and just is always sort of at the detriment to everyone else, but occasionally gets to the benefit of their own individuals' self-esteem or personal gain or what have you. And for me, I take this as sort of a meta commentary for Timothée Chalamet, who is this guy who's been, I know people say he's like the next Leo. Some people want to say he's like the next, I don't know, Al Pacino or something. It's kind of more the vibe I get at the moment, in the sense that he's kind of like a scrawny little guy who just like kind of just wants to be a great. He wants to be one of the guys who defies the odds and becomes this huge thing, even in his own little stratosphere. And, having it be in the sort of like eccentric sport and in a different time, I really like how much Marty, the character, is like, he's in the 50s, but he feels like kind of the now. He, kind of makes jokes that people wouldn't make at that time. And he like kind of even uses some like terminology that wouldn't be as relevant in the 50s, but it doesn't feel totally anachronistic, or at least it doesn't feel off-putting to what the film is doing, because it sort of aids this idea of like, this is a guy who is kind of out of his own time, out of his own league, out of his own, sense of being, but he's just going to kind of push through it and try to be something else. But I think what makes this movie interesting is that it feels kind of more like an evolution, in the sense of like Josh Safdie is like, he was changing as a person as he was making this film. He was becoming more of a family man. He, ironically, considering that he separated from his brother professionally, but, in his own personal life, he's kind of become his own family man. And I feel like this is a little bit more of an earnest effort for them. Like, it's a little bit more sincere in its intentions, but it's also really funny and like really well observed. And I was really taken by this film. It's one of my favorites for the year as well.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. One thing I kind of left out is that the movie kind of came about because Safdie kind of wanted to make a movie about Marty Reisman, who wrote this autobiography in the 70s. And while, of course, Marty Mouser, it's a different thing. He of course, is like kind of like fictionalizing a real person and turning it into what it is. It's funny because, Chalamet has said that, one of the influences for him, like in channeling the character, was The Color of Money, a Martin Scorsese movie. And when I first heard of this like Marty Supreme thing, I avoid marketing. I avoid even, posters if I can. I was like, oh, a documentary about Martin Scorsese. Up until like, I think, I don't know what it was, where I was like, oh, this is about ping pong? Why did Martin Scorsese play ping pong? But I got to ask you about the Kevin O'Leary thing.
Sure.
Genuinely, like, one of the most like unlikable in terms of like real life, obviously. And I was really on the fence of like watching this movie where I'm like, I get it. He's playing a villain. He's playing himself, basically. And he's somebody who I just think is like a genuinely like evil person. And there's just something about like knowing he's in this and like, I don't know. I felt a little bit uneasy. Now, I'm not lambasting the film for it. I'm not saying it makes the film any better or even any worse, but I don't know. Is it just me? Like, did you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think the Safdies have always been very inspired with their casting. They've always sort of blended the line between reality and fiction, and I think that goes back to their mumblecore days and, kind of the idea of like some of the people are just like real life people that would be in that kind of scenario, and some are actual actors, and the way they kind of seamlessly blend the two is really a testament to their direction. And I think more so
they chose him too. They went to O'Leary for the role. They wanted him to do it.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's probably the most telling to me about seeing the two Safdies individual films was that it seems like Benny is more interested in like kind of casting real figures around that world. Like in that case, in that film, there were a lot of people that were in the documentary. There were a lot of people that were around MMA. A lot of people that kind of fill out the margins a little bit, and it kind of reminded me of like He Got Game, the Spike Lee basketball joint with Denzel Washington, has like a lot of real basketball players and stuff. And I think that movie it the way it incorporates real athletes is a little it didn't work as well for me, because I feel like you can kind of see their limitations a little bit more. But I think it's a testament to Josh Safdie and a testament to the films they made together that a lot of the times that their casting choices, eccentric and weird as they are, often tend to work. And in this case, when it comes to Kevin O'Leary, I think it just really comes down to the fact that like they could have hired an actor, they could have hired someone who was less problematic. I know you watch a lot of Shark Tank, and you know this guy better than I do. I just know of him as like a rich a-hole who is really popular in the business world. But yeah,
he's like
I think
despised even in like the whole world of Hollywood, like not Hollywood, but like, other billionaires hate him.
Is he like the Simon Cowell of Shark Tank? I don't really know.
That's a little too mean to Simon Cowell. I'll put it that way.
Oh, okay.
He's genuinely like done terrible things to people. Yeah, but just down to the movie itself, it is fitting, right? I mean,
I'll have to talk to you after we record. He recently did an interview where he talked about his thoughts on the ending of the film, and it's just kind of funny as far as like getting his mindset. But obviously, I'm not going to.
I'm sure
because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But yeah, as far as he goes, I think it's just really just inspired casting. I think I don't think he's like a revelation in this, but I think he's really solid, and I think he actually gives like a good performance.
I agree. I hate to agree, but yeah, what's funny about it too is that I thought Gwyneth Paltrow was just fine. Like I didn't think she was that impressive. I really wish that it had been Julia Roberts like they originally wanted, because I feel like she would have been way better. But you disagree?
No, I really like Gwyneth Paltrow in this, and I thought it was.
I struggled with her character a bit. I don't know.
It was so refreshing to see her in a real movie again.
I mean, that's true. I mean, I was glad she was there and she's getting work, I guess, but I don't know.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, like,
she's also done pretty sketchy, shady things.
Objectively, she is also a fairly problematic public figure.
So I guess it works.
Well.
Yeah.
But I thought it was again, it was just really inspired, smart casting, and it was just like refreshing to see her give an actual performance in a real film. Because like for the last 10 years or so, maybe last 15 years, with the exception of like Country Strong or whatever, like, you know, like a random project, Mordecai. She's really just been doing Marvel movies, and, you know, like there's so many interviews and stuff where it's so apparent that like she just doesn't really even think about those. Like she just kind of is just there for contractual obligations. She didn't even know she was in a Spider-Man movie. You know, it's just like
that one I found kind of relatable, to be honest with you. I didn't hold that against her in the slightest.
No, I don't hold it against her. I just think it's funny.
Right. It's so funny.
But it just kind of fits because she's always sort of been an aloof kind of personality as well.
Sure.
I don't mean that in a derogatory way, just general observation. But, you know, I thought this was like really refreshing, and I thought she did a great job, and I thought, you know, she really channeled the character in a way that was, you know, sad, but like interesting. And I liked how much she was able to communicate through her character without telling it. And I feel like it was refreshing to see how much Safdie had confidence to kind of let her be that character. Cause I feel like a lot of things with Kevin O'Leary, there's a lot of like, he has to kind of explain himself sort of stuff, which is fine. I think it fits that personality and that kind of character, but like, there's so much interiority to Gwyneth Paltrow's character and her performance that I think it was a lot to be admired in that respect.
Yeah, there's definitely more to say. Let's see what some of our friends have to say, and we'll go from there. First, this is a big surprise. This is a happy surprise. Sam Noland, one of our old friends of the show, left a review for this one on Letterboxd. Yeah, so Sam, I miss Sam a lot. He gave it 3 stars. And he said, Drake and Josh did it better, not kidding. Which I know means nothing to you because you didn't watch Drake and Josh.
Right. No, but that's funny. I'm curious why he only gave it 3 stars. I wonder what he didn't like about it.
Yeah, I'm curious about it too. Well, hopefully, maybe he'll watch it again and he will, you know, he'll spin a yarn, as it were. Yeah. We have another one here from Abiel Chessie, our former co-host, best friend of the show. She gave it 5 stars and a heart, right? Now we're talking. She wrote, Diary of a City SHIT Bird. I have to moderate. It really feels like Marty Mouser should be someone who only thinks he's good at sex. I mean, he might. As much as I thought that Paltrow seemed to be a big fan of his goop, I've been holding on to that one. I just wanted to say that.
I picked the ideal time to open my beer because that needed a sip. that was rough.
I know. I was like trying to gross you out. Yeah, no. I think Marty, in terms of like all of the like the sexual explicit stuff, definitely one of those movies that I feel like is kind of a. I've heard that apparently Gen Z is becoming less chaste, and this feels like a movie that's kind of made for Gen Z in a few specific ways.
Well,
like it's the kind of movie where I think younger, like Gen Z, like new adults will kind of like watch for the first time, and it'll start to make them appreciate this kind of movie. And I think this movie is appealing to their attention spans.
Yeah.
All that said, I think that there is a thing where apparently like Gen Z is like they're having sex more, and the way that like this character kind of navigates sexual stuff so matter-of-factly, I think it's kind of a Gen Z coded. Passing fleeting thought.
Yeah, no, I mean that like again, I think, you know, sometimes when you watch a movie that's a period piece, you see a guy and it's like, okay, he's not living in 1824. He knows what a cell phone is. And that in this case, I think it works perfectly because Marty Mouser is someone who's like, he's very much a Gen Z guy, but he just happens to live in 1952. Like, I think it's really interesting and fun. And yeah, like he's someone who's like a lot more outspokenly sexual in a way that like would have been kind of maybe not as publicly acceptable or as common.
I don't know about that. I think that people kind of overestimate the puritanism of the 50s.
I know. I guess maybe what I should say is what people wouldn't expect from someone at that time. But no, I mean, I think that's what makes him so fun and interesting and well cast in this role is I think it just kind of fits his vibe. And I like that he's like, you know, both a loser and kind of a baller. Like he is like someone who like can get girls, but he's like just also like, you know, like Abby was saying, he's probably maybe not the most generous or agreeable lover, but
that's the tension of the movie is like, you never quite know like if he's going to win or fail. Right. And the movie does a good job navigating that of like his victories and his total failures. It's, you know.
Yeah. And I love how much he like what he says isn't accurate or wrong. Like he just like, he's like almost sort of like instinctual liar, like, and that ties into his like pullout game and how much he like claims that he's a pullout guy, but we will obviously know that's not the case. Yeah, just fun.
All right, we have another
You
review
started
here.
this.
Sorry?
Don't you give me that. I said you started this with your goop comment. So don't give me this sigh.
It wasn't a sigh at you at all. We have another review here. This one is from our occasional friend of the show, not everybody's favorite, Will Ashton, who gave this a heart. And Will Ashton wrote, "The F-boys of yesterday, the ballers of tomorrow."
I stand by that.
Yeah, as you should. We also have one here from Ryan Oliver, another good friend of the show. He gave this one 4.5 stars and a heart. Lots of hearts going around. He wrote a pretty long review. I'll just do a little bit of it. He said, "Docking a half star because Marty's self-absorbed antics made me agree at one point with Kevin O'Leary's character in a heartbreaking worst person you know makes a great point moment, and I can't forgive Josh Safdie for that. Otherwise, this is a rollicking piece of entertainment in the same vein as Good Time and Uncut Gems, so it seems that modus operandi is very much Josh's as opposed to Benny's. But unlike Connie or Howard Ratner in those two aforementioned films, Marty is somehow still a rootable character even when he crosses the line, which is frequently." Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of agree. I think even though I haven't seen Smashing Machine, it does make me wonder like how much, because I know Benny appears in Good Time. It seems to be more of an actor compared to Josh, right? And so that's what I'm kind of thinking, like as collaborators, maybe Josh was more of the creative powerhouse, and I don't know if that's overthinking it. Do you think they're going to continue making stuff apart from each other? Like I haven't seen anything one way or the other on that. I have a feeling they don't know yet.
I forget. I think it was Benny that said it was never really their intention to.
Right. But that's PR stuff, right? I mean, who knows for real?
I don't know. I mean, I was initially under the impression that Benny kind of separated because he wanted to focus more on his acting work, which would track because he's like, he's going to be in the Odyssey. He's going to be in Super Mario Galaxy movie, whatever. He's like got these acting roles that he's been doing. He was in Oppenheimer. He was in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. He's just been, he's been doing The Curse with Nathan Fielder. It just kind of felt like, oh, okay, maybe he just was like too busy. He didn't want to hold Josh back. But yeah, and when he made that statement and then subsequently made the Smash Machine, it seemed like he's just, I don't know, they seem like they're kind of more interested in doing their own things and were maybe kind of begrudging to being known as like a filmmaking pair. But I just hope there's no like ill will between them. That would be the sadder thing.
And hey, there is none of our business, right? All right. Charlie Ridgely, another best friend of the show. He gave it 5 stars and a heart. Charlie said, "Yes, Timothée is as good as ever, and maybe single-handedly saving the entire concept of a movie star. And this entire cast is flawless, but the last thing on my bingo card was the guy from Shark Tank giving one of the best supporting turns of the entire year. As much disdain as I usually have for nostalgia remakes, Josh Safdie needs to get his hands on the Karate Kid." I did not expect that. That was the last sentence I expected to read, but okay. You know what's interesting about Chalamet too here is like, it's an interesting like 3 years he's had. I mean, so I'm taking out like the Wes Anderson French Connection thing because that's kind of a weird placement in terms of like when it was supposed to come out on. And then of course taking out Call Me by Your Name, Lady Bird, all that. He did Wonka 3 years ago. Then he did, or 3 years or 2 years ago, because he did Wonka in 2023, so 2 years ago. 2024 he does the Bob Dylan film. What was it called again?
A Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown, thanks. And then this year he does Marty Supreme, and I think that I like all 3 of those movies. I think all 3 of those movies are good. I think Marty Supreme is easily the best of them. Like it's the one that's like the real showcase for like how far he's come. So I think the idea of him as a movie star, I know you kind of were talking about that earlier. I don't know if I buy that. I see him like, yeah, he is kind of operating in the DiCaprio vein. Like that's the kind of energy he seems to have. But is DiCaprio like, is the DiCaprio of today a movie star like the DiCaprio of the 90s and 2000s was a movie star? Obviously, it's going to be different. I'm holding back a little bit on that idea that is, what we got with Chalamet.
Well, for one, you forgot about the Dune movies, which are kind of happening as
that's right. Well, I was thinking of these movies that are coming on the holidays. You're right. Yeah.
Well, which Somebody pointed out that I guess he's been practicing ping pong for, I guess, like 3 or 4 years, maybe longer for this part. So someone pointed out that like there was conceivably a time where, and I would love if Kylie Jenner could back this up, like he was learning how to play guitar for Bob Dylan, playing ping pong nonstop to train, and then like reading Dune. And this, like, you know, I can't imagine what it was like to live with him during that period, but yeah, in any case,
he was with Kylie Jenner?
Oh, yeah, he is now. I don't
Really?
know. They've been dating for a while.
I had no idea.
She was at the
surprising.
Oscars last year.
Huh?
She was at the Oscars last year.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch. Wow. Yeah, I see it right here. That's surprising, but hey, I hope it's working out.
I don't know.
I guess.
I think that was like who she started dating after like Travis Scott or something. But whatever. This isn't
what a swerve.
Gossip podcasting.
I just think, bro, like that's fire, bro.
Sure. No, I mean, again, I think Leo's the easier comparison, but I just kind of get the sense that like he's trying to do like Pacino in the 70s, and I don't know if he's going to reach that level or anything. But like, you know, kind of playing these more character focused, like kind of not traditional leading man sort of roles in comparison to something like Leo, who was always trying to be like, you know, a De Niro or like a guy who was like the guy, you know, was someone who was not, and obviously De Niro, and it was someone who played sort of anachronistic or maybe characters that weren't always the traditional sort of guy, but whatever. This is getting too complicated. I think, yeah, this was a big
win for him.
Yeah, it's a big win, but like, you know, you could say like, okay, Wonka was a success, but like, was that the brand or was that him? And subsequently Dune is a success. It's like, is that more the visuals or is that him?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
A Complete Unknown.
That's him.
Right.
A like, Complete Unknown. You can't fall back on like, well, people like Bob Dylan, so they saw it. People like the Wonka brand, they saw it. People like the Dune books. In this case, it's like, what did they like? Ping pong?
Right.
Like, yeah, you're right.
Well, no, I mean, and it's just fascinating because like,
well, that's how Call Me By Your Name was for him, right?
Sure. But like, if you just look at it like with the two Safdies, they both have come out with like A24 backed and produced sports movies. And one is like The Rock MMA guy, and the other is Timothée Chalamet as a ping pong guy. And, you know, like, if you ask someone earlier in the year, they would probably, which one's going to be like encroaching $100 million, they would probably think, oh, the one with The Rock, about the MMA guy. But no, it's the Timothée Chalamet ping pong movie. You know, the Smashing Machine was like a big flop. You know, so it's just
I would say that I think we would have predicted that the Chalamet one would be the one that wins awards. But
well, yeah, I think
box office you never know, but yeah.
I was just talking about from the box office. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think, I don't know. It's too early to tell if this is like set to be. But I mean, you know, it's just inspiring to see somebody kind of going against the odds, you know, when the cinema is so uncertain and, you know, it's so unclear what's going to happen, especially with all this stuff with Warner Brothers and Netflix. You know, it's endearing that this guy is like trying to rally up Gen Z, and maybe Gen X too. I don't know, maybe millennials who could say, into like being there for him as a movie star, you know, in a Tom Cruise kind of way. And yeah, I'm pulling for the kid.
Well, his next movie, he's going to be in Dune Part 3 this year. So it'll be the last installment. And he's also going to be doing another movie with James Mangold. We mentioned Complete Unknown was the last one. But he's doing a movie called High Side, which is apparently like a motocross heist film. And apparently he's being paid $25 million for that movie. What Film Roulette? Like what casino logic is that? It's a lot of money for a motocross heist film. What are we doing? Well, good for him. I mean, get paid.
People are banking on Chalamet, and
I guess so.
I hope that check clears.
That's right. Okay, and then what else we got here? Yes, Allison Johnson, friend of the show. We mentioned her earlier when we talked about Sorry Baby. She gave it 4 stars. And then friend of the show, Clint Worthington, gave it 3.5 stars. Clint said, grueling and punishing at 2 hours 40, but it's clear Josh has the corner on white knuckle tension of the two Safdies. But also he's got the dark comedy down. Marty Supreme is a balls-to-the-wall absurdist comedy about an absolute dip shit who won't get out of his own way, but through all his bluster and antagonism is desperate to be liked. He talks a little bit more. He mentions the Daniel Lopatin score. We didn't talk too much about the score. I think it's fantastic. I think it's so great. He makes comparison here to Scarface, De Palma pastiche. I think I might agree with that. I definitely, we didn't talk too much about the comedic element too, but like as a dark comedy, it works so well because it is one of those movies where you're just like, what's going to happen next? I'm in. Like, I was laughing quite a bit throughout.
I mean,
at least toward the end, like the last, like the hour and a half of the movie that like where a lot of this stuff happens is the funniest to me. But
see, I don't know. I was laughing throughout, especially a scene involving a bathtub got me really good.
I mean, that's part of my.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people, including my brother, who had got to see it before me. We were talking about they found this movie to be the most stressful of the like Safdie directed features.
Stressful. I think Good Time locks it in for me, but
I was gonna say I thought Good Time and Uncut Gems were more stressful because there was like more than the character's own ambitions on the line. I feel like in the case of Good Time, there's the incarcerated brother, and there's also in like Uncut Gems, there's the family to worry about and his wife and stuff. For the most part, I mean, obviously there's some people in the periphery that could or could not get hurt in the scheme of things, but for the most part, it's just mostly Marty's own self-interest and bravado that's kind of on the line. And sort of for me, I feel like, you're endeared by it and you kind of, against your better instincts, kind of want them to prevail. But it's like also, I don't know, for me, it was less stressful.
Yeah, I would say it's more accessible.
Yeah.
In that sense, right? Yeah, because a lot of people just can't handle the Uncut Gems energy for valid reasons because it's so much. So I'm with you there. All right. Oh, what else we got here? We have Alex Billington. He gave it 4 stars and a heart, but no review. And then Emma Sasick, Auntie Emma, she gave it 4 stars. She said, it's chaotic, messy, and unhinged in so many great ways, while at the same time a bit insufferable, obnoxious, and very much a Safdie Brothers greatest hits compilation. But overall, I enjoyed Marty Supreme. Timothée Chalamet is in his element, and I hope he gets a lot of love this award season. It's so great to see Gwyneth Paltrow on screen again, and Odessa A'zion shines here as well. Although I'm not a fan of the way their characters / any women are written here. Those last 10 minutes really impressed me though, and I thought it was such an honest depiction of showing what actually matters versus what you think means so much. Yeah, that's a really great point. There were a couple points in this movie where I did get frustrated with like how like Rachel is treated, especially in this movie. And like there were times where I wasn't sure if the movie was kind of making a joke out of that. And so I think that's a pretty fair read. I think overall, like where it lands, I think is still pretty poignant. And I think you can read it as like, that is kind of the point, but I don't know. Yeah. I think with Paltrow, I wasn't that invested in her character, at least compared to you. So I was kind of like, when it came to her character, I wasn't that like plugged in really. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like if Rachel was the only central women character in the film, I would definitely be more like, okay, yeah, this is not, the best representation of women. And I'm not saying this movie is in a general sense, but I feel like there's so much more interiority and character growth and going on with Gwyneth Paltrow's character, even in comparison to like some of the other recent Safdie films that, including The Smashing Machine, that I feel like, I don't think they always excel at like, depicting their women in the best lights, but I didn't find it to be as cumbersome in this film as it might have been in some of their other works, especially compared to like Good Time, where, there's a woman character in that film who there's some icky stuff going on there that I don't really agree with per se.
Friend of the show, Aaron Dicer. Aaron said, best recently fertilized human egg to ping pong ball transition in the history of cinema. I thought the beginning part of the movie really, really sold me. It was just so goofy. And I was like, oh, okay, like this is one of those movies where I can turn my brain on, but also like allow myself to have a good time and just, good time. It really set the tone is what I'm trying to say.
If I could editorialize, I think his Letterboxd review should have ended with the best since 2001, The Space Odyssey, but that's me.
Oh, no, fair enough.
As a joke. I think that's a funnier joke, but that's me.
Yeah. You're always trying to write people's jokes, Will Ashton. We didn't get into this part, but I do think the ping pong in this is good. I didn't think there was anything about it that was like amazing of like the way it was shot, but I thought it was like, well done. Good job. 7 out of 10 on the ping pong.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily like like how Luca Guadagnino shot tennis in Challengers last year.
Oh yeah, that's one of the top standards.
But I thought, it's there's not a lot of comparison points, I guess, with ping pong and film. Maybe
Well, Balls of Fury.
Well, sure, Balls of Fury, and then like certain scenes in Forrest Gump, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was, easy to follow and fun and kept the engagement going. And yeah, I thought they were sharply edited shot scenes. So I was for them.
Man of the Jedi, friend of the show, wrote, that intro is wild work. I've been Marty Supreme. How do I get a jacket? Also give it 4.5 stars and a heart. Oh, and she saw it twice. My goodness. I would struggle to watch that movie twice because, oof. Let's see here. Who else we got? Kimber Myers, friend of the show, gave it 4.5 stars, no review. We have Corey Woodruff, best friend of the show. Corey wrote, dream big, and then linked his review. He also wrote, finally, they made a film I can show my wife about why I get money around the house after the Falcons lose. Okay. Wouldn't that be more Uncut Gems?
So yeah, dream big is the tagline for this film. But do you know what the tagline is for Song Sung Blue?
No.
It's dream huge.
So
there are two films that came out around
that's
Christmas.
That's bigger than big.
That had one was the tagline was dream big, and the other was dream huge.
Knowing so you, I'm sure this bothered you a lot.
Yes. Well, I mean, America voted with their dollar, and I guess they'd rather dream big than dream huge based on the box office. So there you go.
Friend of the show, Isaac Feldberg, gave it 5 stars. That's a rare high score from Isaac. Isaac likes to, he's a tough critic. But yeah, 5 stars from him. I don't know if I've ever seen him give 5 stars on a new movie. But he wrote, ultimately, his struggle isn't even about money. I guess that's true. He just wants to be the greatest, Will Ashton, just like you.
Sure.
All right, I think we're getting close to the end here. Friend of the show, Chris Evangelista, no stars, but he wrote, all caps, yes, ha ha ha, yes.
I would agree with that.
This is definitely something for Chris. I'm no doubt there. Kristen Lopez, friend of the show, gave it 4 stars. Corey Everett, friend of the show, gave it 4.5 stars. And a heart, wrote almost the best movie of 2025, Effing Electric. This is the Uncut Gems follow-up we were promised. Darius Kanji, cinematography. Daniel Patton scored. Timothée Chalamet, movie star. SHIT, surrounded by an A-plus cast of softy faces. Lots of profanity in this episode of Cinemaholics. I apologize. But yeah, I totally agree with all that.
Well, I mean,
there's definitely one of our better Letterboxd review roundups.
Sure.
I think the lowest has been a 3 from Sam.
I mean, there's a lot of profane language in the film, so
you're right.
I think that's just just kind of mirroring the vibe of the film. Since we're going into the thing, I just want to kind of point out that in addition to Abel Ferreira being great in this, and some of the other inspired casting, you mentioned Tyler the Creator, who I thought was pretty good. I was really impressed with Penn Joliet in the film, who I thought he was almost unrecognizable.
Who are you talking about?
Penn Joliet, the magician.
Who did he play?
He played the farmer.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I thought he was really impressive. I almost didn't recognize him if it weren't for mentioning at the beginning of the credits that he was going to be in the film.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like him at all. I was like, wait, I don't remember seeing him, but yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of other fun cameos. I think Petit Philippe, I heard, is in the film. I didn't catch him, but yeah, from Man on Wire. And that guy that went viral, Man with the Golden Voice, is in the film. I did see him. Yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of fun Easter eggs.
Yeah. You would be fun on trivia night, that's for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's finish up with a quick Rotten Tomatoes game. Will Ashton. On Rotten Tomatoes, Marty Supreme has 270 critic reviews counted. What is your best guess for its critic score?
It seems like most people at least like the film. I definitely have heard some folks who didn't, but I think they're kind of few and far between at the moment. I'm going to say 96%.
Close. You're only off by 2. So do you think it's too lower or too higher? So 94 or 98?
I usually go lower. This time, in the spirit of Marty Supreme, I'm going to go higher. I'm going to say 98.
Well, also in the spirit of Marty Supreme, you lose. It's 94. And then we'll finish off with the audience score, which they call the popcorn meter now because this is what we do. 2,500 plus verified ratings. What do you think?
It's going to be lower, I think. It just seems like this is more of a critic favorite than audience favorite, even though people, audience-wise, seem to be responding to the film. I'm going to say 87%?
It is lower at 83%. So your instinct was
okay.
right there for sure. And on Letterboxd, I mean, it's popping off. 701,000 watches, and it's already number 190 on their top 250. So that didn't happen that much in the past year. I think I can only recall maybe like one time in the last year. We talked about it. I mean, we didn't do a lot of episodes this year too, to be fair. But yeah.
It was like at 4.3 or something at the moment?
Right. It's cool too though, because on Letterboxd they show like the updates of like when things get into the list and when they come back and when they get taken out. So that's always fun. Anyway, that is all we have for you today on Cinemaholics. Thanks so much for listening. Not sure what we're going to talk about next time. Hopefully we can do an episode next week. There are plenty of other movies we could get into, like The Plague, right? I mean, that's still there. Are you planning to see We Bury the Dead, the Daisy Ridley movie? Yeah, it's not on my list of stuff to get to. We still have Secret Agent, and is this thing on? We both already seen Is This Thing On? I think definitely want to talk about that, right?
I haven't seen it.
I thought you okay.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't ask me during Cinema Roulette or Film Roulette or whatever it's called.
Clearly. Do you think you can get to maybe No Other Choice? We could get to that film at some point.
I believe it comes out the 15th, so I'm planning to see it as soon as I can.
Cool. Yeah, we could. Yeah, if you happen to see that one in time, that's another option. So we have quite a few here. I don't know if we need to do an Avatar Fire and Ash review. I feel like we kind of covered it, but I felt like too it's the third film. And I was like, nah.
I think you dismiss all the fine folks who want to hear what we have to say about big money James Cameron and his latest cinema odyssey.
Dead Man's Wire. That's the other one that I hope you see soon as well, because I think that could be fun.
That's supposed to be good.
Yeah.
No cinema score for Marty Supreme.
Oh, I didn't look it up. You want me to look it up, Will Ashton? We're already wrapping the show up.
I'm gonna guess B+. We'll end it on this.
It's B+.
I guess.
Congratulations.
Yeah, right.
Okay, just wanted to give you what you want. Shark Tank style. So anyway, thanks for listening. From the Internet, California, I'm John Negroni.
Do you remember your name?
No, I almost forgot.
Well,
definitely not Negroni Supreme.
For the Internet, Pennsylvania, I'm John Negroni. See, I can do it.
Whoa.
No problem.
What a braggart. See you next time.